What I see, Mr. Logan, this is quite thick book.
Right.
And I think have around, this book has got
300 plus pages. Yeah.
So I'm reading this book.
Yes.
I'll request you to tell few important things from this book.
All right.
Which will help us.
All right.
Few
Okay.
things.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one that I would start off with, there's so many things there, Ranjit, as you might have seen, you know. But just to give some ideas, number one, I'd say, aspire to be as professional as you can. And one way to do that is, besides joining a professional association in your country, you know, like the Certified Financial Planning Association, for instance, we call it Financial Planning Institute in South Africa. India would have their own bodies. Become a member of MDRT. It takes you to another level altogether, right? You're now interacting with people on a global level. You're getting ideas globally. You're competing with yourself, but looking at it globally, basically. So that's one of the big lessons I'd say. Secondly, I'd say MDRT as a philosophy, which I'd incorporated in my life from the very first meeting. It's called the whole person concept. Sometimes, Ranjit, we can get so caught up with just being top producers that all the other areas of life are neglected, right? I mean, we physical creatures, we emotional creatures, we intellectual creatures, we spiritual creatures. You've got to give equal amounts of time to every one of those aspects, or you will not be a whole person. You might be the most successful person in the world, but the most unhappy, the most agitated person. So I would request members, they don't have to become members of MDRT. I've got the entire formula in the book as to how they can become balanced in their lives. How they can, there's actually a formula, there's a set, you know, questions you answer that determines how balanced you are right now and what you can do to get that balance. Then I will talk to them about, you know, I'll say the other great thing that they can learn from here is the technique of visualization. Okay. Remember, this has helped me throughout my life. From the first time I heard it from Lou Tice in 1987, it's an amazing way to visualize what you want to manifest in your life, right? So to have a picture in your mind of what it is you want to achieve, right? But it's got to be a strong belief that you can do that. And when you have that picture in your mind and you diligently do what you need to do, you can achieve it, you can make it come into reality, right? You can manifest it. And I've tried it many times, and in the book I give multiple examples from my first, you know, experiments with visualization to making the top 25, to talking to a football team and motivating them to you know, win matches. It was an amazing thing, really. All the way from those I talk about, all the way to Neeraj Chopra, winning Olympic gold medal at the last Olympics. Okay. He talks extensively about this visualization process. In other words, you imagine yourself winning the medal before you even get to the Olympic city. It's an amazing technology, and humans have that capacity. Humans are the only creatures that have that capacity to be able to think, to be able to dream, to be able to visualize what you want to manifest in your life. And we must use that capacity, right? Then I'd say, you know, I share the formula for managing yourself. Managing work is fine, right? But people have major problems with that. Managing time, I mean, you can't really manage time. There's only 24 hours in the day, right? So you've got to manage your work efficiently. And to manage your work efficiently, you need to manage yourself efficiently. Correct. So I talk about, you know, how you can self-manage, really. And then we talk about keeping perspective in life, right? Understanding that life is uncertain. Right? Today we're here, tomorrow we could be gone, irrespective of what age we are, right? Irrespective of the age. Life is brief, it's momentary. So we've got to understand that, you know, we could go anytime. So what is the principal reason that we're here for? What do I need to achieve in the next 6 months? You know, I do an exercise in the book, which was taught to us by Dr. Ivan Fitzwater. He runs time management, stress management classes. Right, and he gives all the delegates that come to him, it's a 2-week course. On the last Friday, he gives them an exercise to do, right? And he says, assume you've got 6 months to live. Your doctor's told you you've got exactly 6 months to live. What would you do in those 6 months? So when they join the course, they have to do a priority list of what's your top 10 priorities. So they list, right, every single one, right, day one, top 10 priorities. These are my top 10 priorities. Last Friday of the seminar, he says, right, you've been given this diagnosis by a doctor, maximum 6 months to live. What are you going to do in those 6 months? And then he gives an example, Dr. Fitzwater, of a young attorney that comes up to him after this session of 6 months to live exercise. He says, Dr. Fitzwater, this exercise is absolutely amazing. I've realized that I've been spending all my time studying, right, setting up my practice. I've not spent any time with my young children ages 3 and 5. He says, starting tomorrow, I'm going to schedule time to spend with my children. Unfortunately, driving home from the seminar, his car crashed, overturned, and he was killed in an accident. His time ran out. And the question is, do we want to wait for our time to run out before we realize what the most important priorities are? So he shares this exercise with them, tells them the story, and then he says, now I want you to write your top 10 priorities, knowing that you only got 6 months to live. And he says what happens is rather dramatic. The top 10 that they put on day one compared to the top 10 after they've been on the course for 2 weeks and got the story. Completely. So what was 10 and 9 and 8 is now number 1 and 2 and 3 in the list of priority. So my message to listeners is, why wait till you've been diagnosed with a terminal disease? Use your time now to understand that life is uncertain. I could pass away any day. So what do I want to achieve in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Right? So plan yourself to achieve your maximum potential. So that lesson again is shared with the people throughout the book. And gain knowledge. Gain as much knowledge as you can, not just in your field of endeavor, but about life. Knowledge about life and living. And again, we share a lot of that in the book also, basically.
Superb, superb.